Hello and welcome to the video for Monday the 28th of February 2011. This was obviously the last day of February. I didn't actually trade this day myself, as most of you know. That's in the members forum anyway. I was actually away having my scan. I was there in the morning, but then I had to go away. And sod's law, as always when I'm away, we seem to have a really great trading day. One thing I want to go over first quickly, we had sort of starting at 7 o'clock. Anyone starting early would have got in this trade at a nice position here, but still would have probably been stopped out at break even after locking in 20 pips. But most of us start for 7, and obviously that's the official rules. Like I say, I always like confirmation on the first trade, but this was a frustrating trade because after this big bar we knew we was going to get some, or I knew, sorry, or you, sorry, let me rephrase that. I had a hunch that we're going to get some sort of pullback. You can't know anything in forex markets, but I thought we're going to get some sort of forex. Sorry, tongue-tied now. I thought we're going to get some sort of pullback before we go on. We've obviously got a nice long trend going for the day that's been through the night, and it looked like we're hitting a bit of resistance here. I still would have preferred a long trade, but we would have been much better entering either entering the full boss next box signal, which again would have been on the high, but we would have had our next set of confirmation there. But it would have been better to be able to get into this trade on the pullback somewhere, so we can get our stop. I mean, putting our stop up here, we didn't really have our stop in any sort of, we just put a 30 pip stop on, and this was the bar that obviously the stop finder, which come down and took everyone's stop out. But we would have rather been in the trade somewhere around this area, so we could have our stop behind here anyway. And I'm gonna look at this, and I may make a slight amendment, because like I say, I got into the trade purely because I got to stick to my own rules, and I do stick to boss rules quite religiously, really, most of the time. I like for the highs to be broken, but I did feel that we were going to have some sort of pullback here, and it was really frustrating to see it pull back before the trend went up. But nevertheless, that's just giving you a heads up of something that I'm going to look at. So I will look at that in the future, and obviously I'll give you ample warning if I'm going to release anything. But there's a few, because there's been a couple of days we've been caught out, and I've just had the feeling that it's just the stop. We want our stop. The main thing, we want our stop in a good position. And up here, having a 30 pip stop, we've got it behind no resistance area or no pivot point. We couldn't get it behind anything, so our stop's just there to be taken, really. We want our stop in a better position. Obviously, if starting at 6:30 and picking up the trade here, we would have had a stop sort of down this area. Obviously we'd have probably closed this one out at break even, but still there would have been no damage done. Our stop would have been in a better place to begin with. So that's just something to give you a heads up that I'm going to look at. So that fast trade was a losing one for me. I lost 30 pips on the fast trade. Then we had the second signal, which I know this was just literally as I was going out the door. But I know most of you got into this one. I don't know what the profits people took on this, but this is a great trade because you've got the fast. I always go for obviously R1 and R2 as targets, so you could have either gone straight up to the R2, because once we've gone through this bar here, you've got the option a bit later on to move your stop, and 70 would have been your 20 pips. Now moving your stop here, you're behind the R1 and you've locked in 20 pips, and that would never even get worried. And then the only way's up then, really. I mean, anyone taking the R2 as a target, you could have hit that straight away around this point. What's that? That's going to give you 88 pips profit taking it to the R2. But I mean, even there, moving the stop up again, locking in sort of 30 odd pips at the 200 level. 50 pips at the 200 level. You still it never quite got back there. So there's all these opportunities here to be locking in good profits and being able to keep them. I mean, we went a bit sideways around the R2, but the trend was very long. Obviously we had the 10 till 1 rule, and then we had this signal, but nothing qualified on the short side. You could have really held this trade. This would have been one of the trades that I like to hold. Once you can lock in, especially once you've got 50 pips locked in, you can hold this all day long. And getting up to this area just before when the US is in, this could have been a 100 pip trade quite easily. We're breaking the 100 pip here, but I would have loved to have been in this trade in hindsight, but there we go, I had to be away that day. But this is what I mean, you get your stop in this position and then lock in 50 pips, maybe 45, just to get it just the other side of the 200, the big round number, and you're done. Then you've got that profit, you've got nothing to lose, and you're going to get 45 no matter what. And that's how you pick up these 100 pip movements. All the signs are still good for long. Like I say, just got a signal here, but the bar never got past, and we were back on the way up. And this would have been a great trade for to try to get 100 pips, or once you lock in 40-50 pips, then you can really play, and that's when you want to maximize your profits on these types of trades.